Hello and welcome to Superman in Media, the 12-part series where I look at Superman's role in movies, TV, and video games. In this final part, I shall be looking at the new TV Superman played by Tyler Hoechlin in CW's Supergirl. Before we get to Superman, we have to look at the production of Supergirl. In September of 2014, WB-TV was looking to create a TV series based around the character of Supergirl. Greg Berlanti, who had just begun working on The Flash and was deep into its sister show Arrow, was brought on board with Ali Adler to write a script. After a series of pitches in the following months, Supergirl was bought by the CBS network with a series commitment and a premiere date set somewhere between 2015 or 2016. In January 2015, Melissa Benoist was cast as Kara Danvers, and in May of the same year, the series was picked up to series. In July 2015, Ali Adler said Superman would be addressed on the show similar to how the President was handled on the show Veep, since the show was ultimately about Supergirl and they didn't want her cousin overshadowing her. In May 2016, WB-TV announced the series was renewed for a second season and that it would move to the CW for it. The move shook things up casting-wise as Callista Flockhart, who plays Cat Grant, was unsure if she would be able to remain a series regular as the production was moved from Los Angeles to Vancouver, Canada. The costume design for the show was created by Colleen Atwood, who designed the costumes for Arrow and Flash. Melissa Benoist was hesitant in the more modern depictions of the costume created by Michael Turner, thanks to the micro-mini hemline of the skirt, but she took the challenge head on. Atwood said she wanted the costume to embrace the past but have a street-style action hero look to it. Martian Manhunter's costume was created through visual effects at first, but a physical costume was created for later episodes after his debut appearance. Reception to Supergirl's costume was mixed to say the least, but Natalie Abrams from Entertainment Weekly compared the design to that of Henry Cavill's costume in Man of Steel, but E! Online compared it to a moderately priced Halloween costume. In February 2015, it was announced that Andrew Kreisberg, the co-creator of Arrow and Flash, had joined the series as writer and executive producer. Smallville alum Glenn Winter was announced as the director of the pilot. Principal photography took place from March 4th to March 29th of the same year. Filming locations included the WB lot in Los Angeles where Lois and Clark was shot. Each episode cost around $3 million to broadcast, which was one of the highest license fees ever for a first-year run show. The second season was filmed in Vancouver rather than Los Angeles where the first season was shot. This was done to reduce high production costs of this series for the CW, which it moved to once CBS passed on it since they were very wary of the renewal costs. The show was well received with an average rating of 75 out of 100 on Metacritic, with Melissa Benoist's performance being a highlight for many of the reviews. Season 2 was rated higher with an 81 out of 100, again citing Benoist's continuing performance as Kara as well as the inclusion of Tyler Hoechlin's Superman and more comic book elements being integrated. In June 2016, Tyler Hoechlin was cast as Superman and Clark Kent, set to appear in the first 2 episodes of the second season, which was set to premiere in October 2016. The decision to add Superman to the cast was due to a policy change for the DC Comics TV properties. Andrew Kreisberg was on record saying that Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman were off limits to the CW DC Comics shows, but the policy changed when WB was reorganized and their DC film universe was reshuffled in response to the less than stellar critical and audience reaction to Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and Suicide Squad. Hoechlin's debut as Superman was widely praised by almost everyone, some even comparing him to Christopher Reeve's version of the character. Superman again returned for the season finale of Supergirl Season 2, as the season wrapped up its long-running Daxamite invasion plot it had begun working in the early episodes of the season. Due to the popularity of this version of Superman, a spin-off show has been talked about, but no concrete plans have been put into place as Berlanti and Kreisberg are choosing to focus on the shows that are currently airing right now. And now we've reached the final discussion portion of Superman in media. Since this is the final episode, I decided to do a commentary track on the first episode of Season 2 of Supergirl. I'm not alone in this endeavor, however, as I have recruited my friend and fellow comic podcaster Joel from the Cape, Joel, to help me. How you going, Joel?
Oh shit, here we are. It's happening, Matt.
It's happening. Is that you haven't actually seen this show, have you?
I did watch this episode. I did watch episode 1 of season 2 because, of course, this is the one that has the new TV version of Superman in it.
It is, and it's the reason why we're watching this, since this episode is about Superman in Supergirl. But yeah, we're going to start the show at the moment. The show runs for about 42 and a half minutes, give or take, and there's obviously a recap before we start the actual show, so we can talk through that, I guess. So we'll start the video in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start.
Yeah.
Good show. Good. I didn't really like the first season. The first season was kind of too on the nose, but they really picked it up in the second season once it turned to the CW.
Which is shocking. I know that was a big deal for a lot of people, where it's like, whoa, is this show like actually going to change networks?
Yeah, and people didn't know what the hell was going to happen with it, whether it was actually going to be joining the Arrowverse, and it kind of has, but kind of hasn't. It's kind of in this weird place where it's sort of there but not.
It's in its own universe, which is kind of good for it, and kind of very comic booky too, where it's like, yeah, you know, different heroes live on different universes and they travel back and forth to hang out.
And again, it gets rid of that whole thing. Was like, well, why didn't they just get Supergirl from National City to help?
Well, this is why.
Yeah, she has her own stuff to deal with.
She does, and she has her own supporting cast.
Yeah, a great supporting cast.
Yeah.
Goddamn Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, who the hell thought that would happen?
Again, like we were talking just before, since we recorded our Wonder Woman interview, a review before this, this show has a bunch of cameos from people like Linda Carter and everything. Kara Danvers' mother's Helen Slater, the original Supergirl.
Nice. Man, in comic book world, whenever anything falls from the sky, it's never anything fun like candy or anything.
Or just a meteor.
No, it's always got something horrifying inside. And also, we talked over it there, but hey, gotta love the Christopher Reeves run, oh shit, I'm wearing my costume under my clothes thing.
Yeah, we get that a couple of times this episode.
Nice. Man, being a window washer in Metropolis or any of these cities is totally gotta blow, because you're always gonna be the first to fall to your death.
Yeah, but it has its perks because you get saved by Martian Manhunter.
That's true. Or, you know, a very attractive Supergirl, which also ain't too bad. I imagine a lot of lonely dudes are just throwing themselves off buildings in National City in hopes of just meeting her. Hey, look, I didn't really want to kill myself.
I'd love them to address that. I know that there was an actual Superman comic like that where there was like a cult of Superman and people were throwing themselves off buildings because they're like, oh, it's okay, Superman will save me.
The one day he takes a vacation. Hey, who's this guy?
Oh my god.
Mon-El, who's gotten such a great arc this season.
And possibly more down the line. You and I were theorizing forever. Okay, Mon-El is here. When are you going to do Legion of Superheroes?
I think it's coming.
Because that's his outfit, that's his thing. And in fact, I had it on good authority for a bit. They were developing one in secret.
I hope so.
I don't know what became of it or where they're going with it, because it seems like the CW has a hell of a lot of superhero shows, don't they? They basically have one for every day of the week now.
Pretty much, yeah. And they've got more coming up. They've got Black Lightning. They've got they're developing something else, weren't they?
They were developing a couple things.
Yeah.
I do like the look of Black Lightning so far.
It looks really interesting.
Which, again, Black Lightning is going to be another universe, which is unfortunate because I would love to see Black Lightning be part of the Supergirl universe, because literally some of the best Black Lightning stories involve him being from the Suicide Slums and Metropolis and the Superman family.
Yeah,
And I think I said it when we were talking about it on one of our shows, but like it would have been interesting because he in the trailer is portrayed as like an older hero, so it would have been cool to have him interact with these younger heroes and be sort of that kind of crotchety old man, like, hey, you don't know how to superhero, you haven't done superhero during Nam.
Back in Nam, as all the heroes did. I had to superhero uphill in the snow both ways. You kids have it easy now.
Barefoot.
All you goddamn millennial heroes with your avocado toasts. So, yeah, the toy man for this show, Winslow Shaw, what did they ever do with him? Did they ever explain his connection to Toyman or what was going on there?
Toyman is his dad.
Interesting. So he's technically Winslow Shaw Jr.
Yes and no. I think they did his dad in the first season, which was over on NBC or something.
Right.
So they weren't really into the whole comic book thing. So they're like, oh, we'll just make him his dad. And they haven't really done anything by turning him into a villain at all because he's kind of like a good guy. He's like the tech guy of the team.
Interesting. Because he's definitely one of the more well-known Superman family of villains, whether you like him or not.
Yeah, and he actually has like a connection with Cat Grant here because he ends up killing her son.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, which he doesn't in the show. Her son is in the show, but he doesn't really appear all that much.
Cat Grant also growing a lot. I know it was really easy to make fun of her in the first season, being like, oh god, they made a superhero show out of The Devil Wears Prada.
It really was like that in that first season. It got really unbearable.
Although I will admit, in the first crossover, I liked her joke poking fun at CW shows, where it's like, oh, look at you, you're an all-you-people version. I'm like, that is something a rich industrialist would say.
Yeah, she's great, and she's even like this in the comics now.
Yes, that's right.
They actually gave her something to do.
Yeah, they basically turned all of the Supergirl book into the show. She's from National City now. She works with the DEO.
Mm-hmm.
Man, was that quick from her not having a book for a bit to them just picking up with her and being like, oh, look, I got CW-ified. But hey, as Jeff Johns said, look, we're not going to let the movies and TV shows drive the comics, guys, we swear.
Yeah, we swear, guys, we say, just don't look at Supergirl. Don't look at it.
Or Suicide Squad, or even aspects of Green Arrow. Just don't look at them. Green Arrow is funny in the way it handles its show connections. Yes, his costume basically just looks like the show now. Yes, Diggle's here, but he's gone now. He's gone for arcs, and then he comes back.
Yeah, he just sort of like appears like, oh, is there a Diggle arc coming up in the TV show? Let's put him in the comics.
Mm-hmm. More or less.
And figure out what Kara Danvers needs to do with her life.
This getting in order her new status quo for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Because she went from being an assistant to...
Yeah, to being an actual journalist.
Good.
And hey, there's Miss Tessmacher from the Superman movie.
Nice reference. This show's got references for days.
It really does, and it's really smart with them as well.
That's good. Did the writing team change much between networks, or just did what the networks have in mind, you think, played a bigger impact?
Oh, I think what the networks had in mind, this one is definitely more comic book orientated than the first season was.
Right. Where the other one was kind of being like, well, we're going to cast a broad net and see who we can get in this one. But for CW, it's like, no, play up more to the Arrow Flash fans. Yeah,
well, like, the first season was kind of geared like, girl power, she's a Supergirl sort of thing, and I compared it to like how Lois and Clark was, whereas in the first season of Lois and Clark, it was a romantic comedy with Superman in it, and that's kind of like what the first season of this was. And then when it changed networks, like Lois and Clark did, it became a more comic book show.
Funny how it has that kind of trajectory.
Mm.
Damn it, hunky Jimmy Olsen. With your big trapezius muscles. But he is still Superman's best pal, which is really all you need.
He is, and he's grown on me. At first I was like, why did you change his ethnicity? It was never really a big deal, so why change it in the first place?
That's the thing. You could get away with changing the race because literally nothing about Jimmy ever revolved around his race. He was just kind of the goofy pal of Superman who needed saving every so often. Now, here's the thing. I see he's wearing a watch, Matt. Is that a watch that if he needs it, can he call Superman for help?
I don't think so. I'm trying to remember in the first season whether they actually did introduce that. I can't actually remember, but I don't think so.
Because that seems like a missed opportunity there. Where it's like, oh, I'm in trouble.
Well, he's in National City now, and he's friends with Kara, so you just call her.
Fair enough. And also, he becomes Guardian later on. I know that much, so he doesn't get in trouble that often either.
No.
He can handle himself, this Jimmy. He's not constantly bothering the Superman family to come and save his red ass.
This is a problem with launching rockets at the DC universe. They always fail.
Yep, you're not getting your deposit back. Oh, Daily Planet. Who's this guy?
I remember when this scene came out. It was so perfect.
Yep, nails it.
Yes, I will have my article on your desk. Lickety split.
Talking about Perry.
Yes, sir. I know that no one says lickety split anymore.
Even making fun of the fact that, what he's saying is slightly out of date. And then Great Caesar's Ghost. It's like, okay, you got it all.
And Perry hasn't even appeared in the show yet.
And yet you feel like that's probably a great Perry on the other end of the phone. You know who this is a job for?
There are over 200 people aboard the craft. There are no further details, but keep it right here and we'll continue to bring you the very latest.
It's almost like everything in this version of Superman. It's like, what did the movie Superman do? Okay, let's do the opposite of that.
Yeah, let's do everything, including the shirt rip.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Costume looks much better in motion and on the show than it did in the few pictures we had.
Oh, it's funny because the set pictures that like people were just taking on the set were better than the original poster they released for this.
Yeah, shocking how that happens.
I have no idea why or how, but it just looked better.
We mentioned before over on Cape TV, which is the TV podcast we do, that Supergirl, when it comes to its costumes, is really kind of hit or miss, isn't it?
Oh yeah, there's like the red tornado costume, which is awful, and then there's like Martian Manhunter, which is his new 52 costume.
Yeah. Even this Superman one, pretty good.
Yeah, it's got everything you need except the trunks.
Except the trunks, but I think as comic fans we kind of got to make peace with the fact that the trunks are gone, I guess.
Yeah, it actually looks really similar to his Rebirth costume.
Yeah, it really, really does. Although I will say, what's up with the basketball type material that all these suits seem to be made of? That's the new hipness now.
I don't actually know. Is it because like the material is cheap, or because it like
look better?
It reflects light in a way that they need it to, or something?
Possibly. It's like, how come no one just wears a suit anymore?
That was awesome. I mean, that was terrible, but it was awesome.
Hey, look, it's something we're never going to get in film.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Two of us teaming up.
Me too.
What's he doing with his mouth? He's smiling?
I do believe that is called a smile. It is something the humans do.
That's Superman.
I used to change his diapers.
And also just hanging out with people. Just like being a good person and like loving life and loving humanity. See how happy this Superman is to be saving people and like shaking hands and having a good time? He's not horribly miserable about everything.
Yeah, he doesn't like inadvertently threaten those people. Like if you tell anyone what happened to me, I'll rip your head off.
He's not having like woe is me Superman problems. He's like, hey, it's Superman. It's pretty all right.
Everyone, this is my cousin.
You may have heard of him.
Guess you already know.
He's a pretty big deal. You may have heard of him.
Hi. Good to see you. It's an honor, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Also, having Superman in the show also, really expands the world of Supergirl to be like, yeah, all this cool shit is happening in this world. It's that much deeper and bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the only world so far that actually has a Superman.
Mm-hmm. And perhaps more refreshingly, too, they have Superman here, but he does not steal focus from Supergirl. It's still very much his show. Or her show.
Yeah, he's just kind of along for the ride.
Yeah. And even later in this episode, he's like, no, you got it. I trust you.
Yeah, he does that as well in the finale. He's like that. He's just like there to help.
Yeah.
And you know your father means a lot to me, so.
Your father, Dean Cain, means a lot to me.
I thought he was dead.
Didn't we all, Matt? Didn't we all? It's been like, what, 4 or 5 years and we're still making this I thought Dean Cain was dead joke. It's gonna be really shitty when Dean Cain actually does die. I can only imagine my inbox will be loaded with people where it's like, you made this happen, Joel.
Yeah, this is your fault.
You killed him with your words.
We don't know who he is.
Did you try using a quantum scan to determine his age?
First thing we did.
And you X-ray visioned him for foreign objects like a
Ooh, good old
cybernetic
technobabble.
Of course.
You should probably go ahead and do that.
Did you use a kryptonite scalpel? That's what they gotta use on me.
No.
So, my handy translator just finished decrypting the pod's data log. Now, it seems Sleeping Beauty on his journey from Krypton passed through something called the Sagara Bay Owl.
The Well of Stars.
I was gonna say, is that a thing from the comics, Matt? You would probably know better than me.
I think so. I remember hearing something about it.
Or maybe it's a thing from space. I don't know astronomy.
12 years older than Carr, right? Because you do not look it.
Kryptonians age at a much slower rate here on Earth.
I'll outlive you all. Just so you know.
You'll all be dust.
And there will be only Superman. I will fly to the center of the sun and I will become God in 1,000,000 years. That's a real thing, people. Superman 1,000,000. Look it up.
Maybe a mild-mannered reporter should make some inquiries while he's here in National City.
Oh.
Actually, I was gonna have my team take a look at it.
Oh yeah, isn't there like a whole season-long thing that Martian Manhunter and Superman don't like each other for some reason?
They don't like each other for these 2 episodes because John has like a cache of kryptonite hidden from Superman.
So he's become like Batman for this show. Damn it, why do all my friends from the Justice League have stashes of kryptonite? What did I do to them to deserve this?
Sorry. So sorry.
Well, dropping all his papers, keeping up that clumsy image.
Yeah, no, that was actually real.
And it works so well in like modern times as well.
It does.
It's not something that's outdated.
No. Aw, they're best buddies. Look at it. Isn't it nice to have a Superman who's buddies with Jimmy Olsen? Isn't there something so pure and wonderful about it?
When does this Jimmy get killed by terrorists?
Yeah. When does he get shot for in the first 5 minutes? Because I thought it would be funny. You have a fractured sense of humor, sir.
Kent? Oh, God, you two. What? Nothing. I do.
I like this. So that Cat Grant likes Clark Kent.
Oh.
It's something that happens in the comics as well.
Yes, that's right. She's always falling over herself whenever Clark is around. Which is hilarious because, Lois wants nothing to do with him. For the most part, he has to win her over, but Kat's just, like, throwing herself at him all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, gross.
No fault of mine. So, are you still seeing Lois Lane, or did that fizzle out like I predicted in the office pool? No one ever sent me my $20.
Uh-huh. Again, implying a greater history with her, too.
Oh, so
Yeah, implying that something's gone on before all this happened.
I'd say that she has.
That's called universe building.
Yeah, it's smart universe building.
Oh, no.
How would you like to go on a tour? Perry White was a fool to ever let you out of his sight. I might just post you.
Nice.
She's always like that.
And again, Superman, sense of humor, fun guy. Isn't that nice?
He was slower.
No.
Yeah, he's not being told to do sports writing and
And isn't it,
told to drop chasing stories that could potentially be mind-blowing.
and isn't it great, too, that people have conversations like real people? That's something we forgot to mention in our Wonder Woman thing, why that one works, because no one talks in trailer voice. Everyone actually has real people conversations.
Yeah, they don't just like lift like comic script pages and use them because they don't work.
Alex. What's up?
Oh, is shit going down at the old quarry?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, I'll bring my morpher.
That's what this show needs for season 3, more quarry fights.
Who mysteriously didn't show up last minute. We know
We need like 90% more quarries.
National City is now a quarry town.
Thanks. Well, Lex may be in jail, but his sister's now running Luthor.
Oh yeah, bringing up the Luthors now. This show has its own Luthor too.
Yeah, it has 2 of them.
And how hilarious is it that, the Luthor was the evil villain of this show right around the time they made, Luthor's sister evil in the comics.
Yep. But the thing is, Lena Luthor in this isn't evil.
Isn't she?
No, she's a good guy.
Is she? Wow.
Yeah, it's her mother that's evil. Her mother runs Cadmus,
Ooh, shit. Hey, look,
which is what John Corbin.
Yeah. Now that's what we want to see in our Superman show, or Super Person show. When do we get to Metallo? Give me Metallo.
I think Metallo happens in the second part of this, I think.
Yeah. And he has an accent, too, like he's supposed to.
Yeah, he's kind of like British.
He's no Malcolm McDowell, but I'll take him. Malcolm McDowell's an actor's like, shit, I can do it now.
This show in that second season did so many good Superman villains. It did Parasite on a TV budget.
Mm-hmm. Which is
it did. I think it did him twice. I think.
Wicked. Isn't there talk for like season 3 they're gonna do Rain?
Yeah. They've actually just cast her. She was the one that was in that ship that I was talking about at the end of the season.
So you were correct.
Yeah.
What kind of stories could they tell with Rain?
Really anything, because she's a new villain. Not a lot's known really about her, so they could go any direction.
At least it's not hell, so that's good.
Thank God.
Google hell, everyone. Superman's most famous enemy.
Yeah, don't Google hell, everyone.
Truly a classic that will never go out of style. Wasn't there like some sort of ridiculous like 8-part event with Hell? They tried really hard to launch Hell as like this new character.
They did that, and then they brought him back for like a return to Krypton arc, and I think he morphed into like the New 52 Eradicator or something.
Really?
I think so. Yeah, it was a while ago.
Is he still alive? Because if not, they should probably house clean and kill him at some point.
Oh, everyone's forgotten about him. He ain't coming back.
Death by disinterest. That's what you can call that. You know how they have, like, saved by continuity, like this character has to live so these events can happen? Yeah, that's death by disinterest.
This drive contains all the information we have on the oscillator.
Man, you gotta love the prevalence of thumb drives. In fiction, if this was like 20 years ago, it would be a floppy disk.
I'm here for a fresh start. We have one.
Remember when floppy disks were really important, Matt?
Yeah.
Isn't it like in the first Mission Impossible they're trying to steal like a floppy disk?
Yeah, they're like break into the CIA headquarters and steal stuff with a floppy disk or something.
Nice. I'm pretty sure our watches have more memory than your average floppy disk.
No, I'm not a reporter or anything, but I kind of believe.
Hey, look, it's characters talking.
Yeah. It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm with Kara. Yes, I'm being careful. I miss you too. I love you.
Oh, isn't this the joke about super intuition? You'll get that too.
Worries about you.
Yeah.
I love that joke because she believes him, and it's like, yeah, Superman has all the powers.
And the thing is, it's like a funny joke for like when he did have powers like that, like in the 50s, where he had like super ventriloquism and stuff like that.
He could shoot a little rainbow version of him out of his hand.
Yeah.
And then get mad because the little version of him was getting more credit than he was. Now that's a universe Supergirl needs to visit, the Super Dickery universe, where it's her cousin just being an asshole to everybody.
Kept my head down.
Well, they could do that because they brought Miss Mixel Spitlick into the show.
They literally could.
An amazing guy.
Sorry, Jimmy, I can't give you this water. I'll have to let you die.
Quick, Jimmy, you've got to dig your own grave.
So many great covers of him being an asshole. Oh no, Wonder Woman found out about my mermaid family I have.
All I know is that being Kara.
Or just Superman eats a bunch of burgers and gets really fat. Oh no.
Clickbait before there was clickbait.
Basically wasn't it, all those covers, where it's like, well, how the hell did we get here? Or like, someone sitting in court, it was Superman who killed them. Oh no, how's he gonna get out of this one?
Operation Emerald?
How'd you find out about that?
Hey, look, more universe building. These two have had a past with Superman.
Yeah.
Back when I first took over the DEO.
I like that idea that like Superman was actually part of the DEO at one point and was actually helping them.
Yeah, works for the show.
I got there, it was dark, and
Especially considering how big deal they are. Do they explain throughout the season why he doesn't work with the DEO anymore? Is it just because Martian Manhunter had kryptonite?
No. Like, he worked for them at a time like when they were looking for his kryptonite, and then once they found all that, he sort of like went off on his own and so just did Superman stuff, and kind of like how Superman in the comic just like sometimes works with organizations and then
Right.
sometimes doesn't.
Right. He doesn't work for them for long. I guess in his own mind, he figures anyone he works with too long gets an unfair advantage over everybody else.
Underneath the main passenger
He's got to share that Superman love. Hey, there's enough Superman to go around.
which is rough and how, Mr. Shock?
According to the manifest, guess who was supposed to be sitting in seat 23B? Lena Luthor.
Now, has the show planted any seeds for anything crazy like Super Pets or Connor or anything like that?
I think there was a reference to Streaky.
Oh, see that
I
I
think.
like. I like Streaky the Super Cat. They need to do more Super Pets.
Statistically, it's a safe
Yeah. In terms of something like Superboy, no, mate. I just put that down to there being basically a Superboy on the show in Mon-El.
Yeah, he basically is, isn't he? And they can
Yeah.
have like a romance thing. Would be a little weird if Supergirl and Superboy had a thing.
It's like, hey, I'm the DNA of your brother and your worst enemy put together.
Yeah, pretty good, huh? I'm trying to think what other super family characters they could work in there. Ooh, if they wanted to one up Flash in the giant ape department, they could do Titano at some point.
That'd be great.
Yeah, Supergirl versus a giant kryptonite ape. Wouldn't that be sweet?
That would be really great. We missed it just before, but that was the line from like Superman the movie and Superman Returns. But the flying being statistically the safest way to travel.
That's pretty good. Again, deep cuts.
Innocent civilians or the chopper?
Friggin' drones, man. I knew they'd be our downfall.
Go Superman, be better than the movie Superman.
Yeah, don't break anything and save the day. Or at least break the things that you're meant to be breaking. Have we talked about the blue, what is it, her blue heat vision? Or, I mean, I guess they're all blue in
Yeah.
this show, isn't it?
Yeah, I was hoping Superman's would be red, and them explaining it sounded like he's more mature than her, he's older than her.
Or he's absorbed more solar radiation
Yeah.
because of it. His is red. So there is no in-show explanation as to why their heat vision is blue.
No, it's just blue.
Is it like, well, we didn't want to do what the movie did, or is it just like blue is like a calmer, nicer color than red?
Well, I think like it just comes from like blue means it's really hot.
Which is technically true. Blue fire
Yeah.
is hotter than red.
Yeah.
Someone's trying to kill you.
Ah, man, it's
We
like...
also got a reference to Batman just before.
That's right.
Looking for you.
When do you think they'll cross that line? Like, I never thought we would see a Superman on TV ever again with the movies. At what point do they cross a line and do Batman?
Maybe Italian?
You know, I don't know, because like when I was looking up stuff for the first part of this video, I found out the reason why they were able to do Superman is because of the structure change and the shuffling of the films, as well as partly to the critical reception of Batman v Superman. They were able to, because originally the guy who developed the show, Andrew Kreisberg or whatever his name is, said people like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman wouldn't appear in this universe.
I remember him saying that.
But then he kind of went back on that and actually got Superman into the show because
back on
of
it
what was
super
happening
hard.
in the movies. So it's possible that they could appear.
She cries more than Halle Berry.
I mean, this universe definitely needs a Superman, and they definitely found a great justification for him to be in it. Batman, I mean, basically, Arrow is their fucking Batman, basically.
Oh yeah, well he's taken half his villains,
Yeah,
so
really.
why not?
It's like, if you put Batman in the show, it would make no sense, because like you said, Arrow's fighting half his villains.
Yeah.
Although it still would be cool for Batman on television. It's shocking that, outside all the animated ones and outside all the Adam West ones, they never tried to do a Batman show.
Yeah. Well, that's what originally Arrow was meant to be. It was meant to be a Batman show.
I believe it. Well, didn't they also have, like, Bruce Wayne they were pitching for a bit, where it was just going to be him traveling the world before Batman?
And and that got developed into Smallville.
Yes, that's right. And I was going to say, I guess technically Gotham is a Batman show, too, but it's Batman without Batman.
Well, hey, if you've seen what they've been doing on the show recently.
No, because I value my time.
Yeah, so it's basically Batman now. They've got like Ra's al Ghul, he's coming to Gotham, and there's like Bruce Wayne who's like embroiled in all the crime and everything, and
but he's still like 12.
Yeah, I saw a really cool theory there that said that this isn't like a Batman show, this is an Owlman Begins show.
That'd be funny. He finally puts on the costume and it's just Owlman. Yeah, an owl flew through the window instead of a bat, so yeah, I'm gonna be doing this now.
Yeah, but they've tried to get Batman on so much stuff. Like in Smallville, they tried to do it and they couldn't, so they ended up just doing Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
And then in the season 11 comic that happened after the show, the first like arc is introducing Batman.
I mean, like, we've seen how good a Supergirl show can be, how good a Flash show and, stuff like that could be. How good could a Batman show be? I mean, these characters come from comics, so they thrive on long-form storytelling.
Yeah, it could be done, especially with, like, budgets today.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, did you
ever...
ever...
He doesn't even have powers or anything.
That's true. It's like, did you think a show like this would ever look as good as it does, where you've got people flying, you've got superpowers and laser visions?
Yeah.
Ooh, Casnia. Again, more references and more deep cuts.
I like that they've made John Corbin like the assassin, not like the New 52 one where he was like an Air Force colonel who was like in love with Lois Lane.
Yeah, he goes back and forth a lot, Corbin.
Yeah.
I definitely preferred the assassin mercenary thing.
Yeah.
Who gets involved with Superman almost by accident. It's just another job for him. It's nothing personal.
Mm-hmm. And that's how it is in here.
Yeah.
It's just another job for him.
And then arguably it gets a little bit more personal after he gets rebuilt as a cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
Who can't feel and blames Superman as all villains do. Now, has Supergirl done the Superman Revenge Society yet? Because there's like an episode they could totally do.
Nah, not yet.
Supergirl Revenge Society Season 3. Make that happen. Again, there's probably quite a few villains they could pull back for it.
Yeah. Well, they've had like some villains team up to take down Supergirl. Like in the Flash crossover episode, you had Silver Banshee and Livewire.
I really loved how Silver Banshee looked in that. She looks 100% comic accurate, like it's scary.
She was great in this.
Hey, even Livewire didn't look half bad, too. I'm just glad Livewire made the jump from cartoon to comic to live action. What a weird and interesting history she's had.
Well, it's like Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that too. And technically Harley Quinn was in the CW verse, but just for a minute, and then they stopped because they were doing the movie.
Yeah, they're like, you can't do that anymore.
Ah, shit. So yeah, they basically nixed the Suicide Squad on everything, didn't they, thanks to that movie?
They were so sure about that movie. No, it's going to be more lucrative in the movies. Going to be more lucrative. No.
Which to think we'd actually seen the Suicide Squad a couple times because we saw them in Smallville too.
We did. They were different in Smallville though. Hey, this is something you never really see Superman and Supergirl who hold up buildings.
Yeah, from falling down, not just not giving a shit. Also, hey, good job for the human characters earning their keep.
Oh yeah, Alex Danvers has had a really great arc. Oh, I don't think I mentioned it in the finale, but it seems like going into season 3, she's actually going to be marrying Maggie Sawyer.
Oh, that's nice. Poor Maggie gets fucked over in everything, doesn't she? She didn't get to marry Batwoman in the comics because DC put their foot down.
Yeah, I'm hoping that doesn't happen in here because once they introduced her in this show, she's such a good character.
Has Turpin showed up?
No, he hasn't.
See, there's one you got to do for the future, but the problem is you got to cast a guy who looks just like Jack Kirby, is the thing. You got to find the Kirbyest man possible. Because that's all Dan Turpin is, he's just Jack Kirby. Again, actually showing them using their intelligence, that they're more than just strength. They're actually making shit happen and doing stuff.
Yeah. Saving the day.
Yeah. Like super people would. Again, he smiles through this whole thing. Because he's doing good. Also, too, getting Corbin to fight Alex is pretty good as well, because it's like, yeah, they're super. They could one-punch him.
Well, it gives her something to do as well.
Absolutely. It's good writing.
Now I'm leaving. And there's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can... Yeah, but I can. I am in so much pain. Hey, look, I'm not going to kill you, but that's not going to stop my friends and allies from shooting the shit out of you.
Thank you, Mr. Kent. This is exactly the kind of press my company needs after yesterday's attack. And thank you for including that part about me shooting the guy. That'll teach Lex to mess with me. I'll be the laughing stock of Cell Block X.
Yeah, that's like the whole thing, like all these like John Corbin and everything. That's kind of like Lex is doing.
Yeah, that's interesting that he's still casting a shadow even though he hasn't shown up in the show.
Yeah, he's done that quite a few times throughout the show. Like we see his vault in later episodes where he sees power armor and everything.
So cool.
Well, like I said, I'm not a rebel.
And I mean, hey, what's stopping him from showing up in future seasons? Probably nothing. The fact that Superman is here means anything can happen.
Definitely, and especially after people didn't particularly like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
And I mean, they cast Zod too. It wasn't the real guy who showed up at the end, but it was. They have the actor, so we know that's what he looks like.
Yeah, they cast an actor for Zod, so yeah.
I want to be a reporter.
Hey, coming full circle now.
I can't believe I didn't see you before. Being a reporter is about connecting with people. It's about finding hidden truths and
Just
sharing
like
it with the
Superman.
world. It's about service.
Being a journalist in many ways represents all sides of the DC Trinity: truth, hope, and justice all together.
Yep.
Exposing the truth, fighting for justice, inspiring people with hope. Kind of the perfect job for a superhero, isn't it?
And it's sometimes more effective than actually being a super person.
That too. That's what I've always loved about the journalist side of Superman Clark Kent. You know, there's more than one way to fight him.
You came in to introduce my assistant. I had an instinct about you, so I scribbled reporter on your resume and I stuffed it.
I do that. I scribble things on everyone's resumes that I think they are. Do you want to see the asshole pile? There's a big one that I just wrote asshole on.
I guess I saw a little bit of myself.
I like how many glasses she has on her desk.
That's just an insane amount of glasses. Is she just always losing them? Is there never a pair of glasses when she needs them?
In your entire lifetime, but
Is she just constantly breaking them and or throwing them at people?
and to see justice done.
Cat Grant strikes me as a woman who throws a lot of glasses.
I can see the hero within you.
I like it in the final episode. They kind of hint that she knows Kara is Supergirl, and it's cool like rewatching all this because you kind of figure out that she's known this whole time, but never done anything about it.
I'm a fan of that when characters know all along. I often assume that Gordon actually knows that Bruce Wayne and everyone is Batman, but he doesn't say anything out of respect.
Same with Perry White and Superman.
That too. It's like, I know. I've always known. But it was just easier this way.
Yeah, and it also kind of detracts from them if they didn't know, because they're like, he's the best editor-in-chief journalist ever, or
Then
he's
you're a
he's
dumbass.
the best detective ever, but he never knew this.
Yeah, you're kind of an idiot if you end up not knowing those things.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is, on Krypton, by my age, I'd be a spinster.
They're weird like that, the Kryptonians. Them with their crystal tech.
Seems like I should have
Let me tell you about the crystal tech, Jimmy.
last year was
Yeah, we all had our own personal Brainiac robots. What's Brainiac? Oh, hopefully you'll never have to know.
Well, they actually did a version of Brainiac on this show.
Oh shit, did they really? What was it like?
Oh, they did. It did. I'm blanking on her name. It was the female version.
Right. The blue one, right?
you and me together.
Yeah, and it was played by the Supergirl from Smallville.
Interesting. Funny how that casting works.
We are best as friends.
And you can be my super best friend too, Jimmy. I might also be super best friends with Barry, but you know, I can have more than one super best friend.
Yeah, he hardly shows up anymore, so
Yeah. But you know, I'll sing a happy song with him.
yeah, he only shows up when when it's convenient for him.
Yeah, really.
Thank you, Hank. Or
I'm surprised at that end of the Flash season where it's like, oh no, we need to hide Iris somewhere. How about you hide her on this Earth where there's a Superman and a Supergirl to help out? I bet they could deal with Savitar.
I never actually considered that. Like, yeah, let's go hide it where there's these two super strong Kryptonians as well as a telepath.
Yeah, a couple telepaths because there's Miss Martian too. I thought of that like last week. I'm like, if you're just hiding her on Earth, why didn't you take her to this Earth?
Credit on this one. Not even a little.
Or contact this Earth for help.
Like, imagine Savitar come running through. He sees Superman, Supergirl, Martian Manhunter, and the rest. And he's like, "Oh fuck, I bit off way more than I could chew here." Back it up, back it up.
I didn't realize how nice it was to
Actually, I guess the Flash and none of the other CW characters have met Superman yet, have they? I mean, they kind of know he exists, but they haven't met him.
know everything there is.
They do know he exists, but yeah, they haven't actually met him. I'd love for them to meet.
You got to at least have him meet Brandon Routh, right? You got to at least concoct some sort of reason for the new Adam to meet him.
Maybe one
That would be pretty cool. I like that in the crossover they kind of had that joke where he's like, "Ah, she kind of looks like my cousin."
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
On 6th and Stag. In a way.
Ah, so good. See how they're not afraid to say shit like up, up, and away because they know they got you? We can rebuild him. We can make him stronger, faster.
You're not in a hospital.
But I don't want to spend a lot of money on it.
Well, all they could do for you there is walk.
I tell you though, this Metallo looks a lot better than the one that was in Smallville.
Not a great looking version.
The one in Smallville's so weird. It's like we're just gonna strap like a tank to his chest
And now you're a
with
cyborg.
bunch of hoses, and then he's gonna be super weak, but still be able to go toe to toe with Superman.
Because why not?
Good choice. Welcome to Cadmus.
I like she's wearing a butcher's smock.
Doesn't want to get blood on the pantsuit.
No, no. It's from the Hillary Clinton collection.
John Corbin died yesterday.
The evil white woman collection.
I like she already had the name picked out for him and everything. And you will be called Metallo. We workshopped this.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yay, that was really fun.
That was really fun. Thank you for everyone for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. You can follow Joel over on Caped Joel on YouTube. And you got anything coming up?
Yeah, probably by the time you listen to this, the newest episode of the Comic Multiverse will be out. That's the show me and Matt do together, so you can listen to that.
Definitely go listen to that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got some more videos coming out. I've got a new series planned to sort of fill the gap that this one will have left. So stay tuned for that, and that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks. But thank you for joining us here on Superman in Media. I hope you enjoyed the series as much as I did.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you'll check out my other reviews of comics out this week. You can also catch myself and Joel from Cape Joel in our weekly podcasts, Cape TV and the Comic Multiverse, over on his channel, the Weekly Pool Archive channel, and on SoundCloud. Links to them can be found in the description below. Also, you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and if you're feeling a touch generous, I have a cyber tip jar set up. Just follow the links below, and until next time, I am Matt of the Fortress of Solitude, and I will see you in another video.